taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Navigation trading on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone. Where is my charts? There we go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's day trading live stream, Friday, April 10th. S&P futures up 9, NASDAQ up 45, Russell up 2, Dow down 2. Gold down about 0.4%. Silver's pretty flat. Notes, bonds, and yields all pretty flat. Oil up 0.5%. Natural gas down 1/4. Soybeans up 0.5%, wheat and corn a little bit red, euro and the pound both up 0.25%, Bitcoin up 0.25%, and VIX down 2.2%. Had CPI this morning, had a little pop and then fade back to previous day high in the S&P. NASDAQ is still above its previous day high, and IWM's a little bit below its previous day high. So with the little VIX contraction, I will not do a Monday Iron Condor, the 1 DTE, using Monday options, 3 DTE. Will not do that. I am going to do a 6-7 double calendar right at the open. So no 6-7 put calendar, but I will do a 6-7 double calendar, which I will plan on transforming if possible. How's everybody this morning? Krish, good morning. Got the bell in about 1 minute. The S&P has had quite a run from the bottom here. There is the daily chart. We are at 63.50 just a few short days ago. We are now at 68.75. That is a move, kids. That is a squeeze. That's what we call a short squeeze. If you're ever wondering what a short squeeze is, that's it. There's the bell. Looks like the expected range, about 30, a little over 32 today in SPX. Biggest movers to the upside this morning. A-Lab is up 6%. CoreWeave is up 4%. Circle is up 3%. AMD is green. Biggest red, PLTR and FSLY, both down a couple percent. AVGO is also up 3%. Nvidia's popping. Tesla just popped. Got a lot of strength out of the chips, although MU falling, it just went red. SMH pushing above its pre-market highs. All right, I get my double calendar getting ready to fill. All right, got that posted. Nvidia still pushing. S&P kind of pushing, coming back down. Russell a little bit of a dip back down, but NASDAQ staying strong. So chips are driving. Microsoft big bounce. AMD, AVGO, and NVIDIA. Pick your chip. Those are the strongest. NASDAQ going above pre-market high now, while S&P and Russell are just kind of acting a little weaker. PLTR going through lows. Tesla popped above previous day high, but not holding. And the Russell's about to go red. Bitcoin just went red. Coinbase went red. MSTR pushed up to previous day high, but it's coming back down. Hood just went red. So getting some rejection. NASDAQ pushed above pre-market high, kind of pulled back down, but still much stronger than the others. Looking at relative weakness, Coinbase. Coin and Hood. S&P. All right, now NASDAQ's kind of following to the downside. Amazon, strong as well. Opened up right at previous day high and just shot up. I guess that first push was actually pre-market. AMD holding it highs. AVGO had a little bit of a dip. NVIDIA had a little dip. NASDAQ trying to pop back up. NVIDIA kind of pulled back. AVGO kind of pulled back, but not really any kind of anything to manage risk around. Meta just pushed above previous day high. If I got a pullback in Meta, I would potentially take calls in that. Meta, I'm going to load up some 3 DTE calls. Three DTE, I would trade the 640s. Kind of rejecting now. Let's see if the buyers come back in. Kind of pulling back to pre-market high in Meta. Meta would need to reclaim that previous day high for me to be interested, or aggressively push back up to it. Amazon pushing. S&P dipping again. NASDAQ coming down. NVIDIA pulling back again. Tesla about to go red. Crypto's still showing weakness. Coinbase still below previous day low. Amazon's got the strength this morning now. Yeah, so big rejection of that previous day high in Meta. PLTR staying super weak as well. Bitcoin's still coming down. PLTR just flushed this major low that we saw back in February. Back on the 13th and the 24th here. So I'll watch to see how PLTR reacts here. Nvidia trying to bounce again. Tesla staying green. AMD just popped. Pop goes AMD. Chips starting to, AVGO's dip getting bought up. S&P and NASDAQ starting to bounce. Russell trying to get back in the green.
Order partially filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Microsoft rolling over. Meta still rolling over. Netflix and Google choppy. Apple kind of choppy. Amazon starting to pause a little bit. S&P still near lows. We do have University of Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations here in 15 minutes, which are orange folder, not really much of a market mover, but just FYI. I wouldn't really do anything different myself. S&P trying to bounce off the lows. Nvidia trying to get back up to highs. AMD popped again. Tesla trying to bounce. Had a big push up all the way back down to unchanged. Now it's trying to get back up. Back above pre-market highs is Tesla. S&P coming back down towards lows. Yeah, chips definitely leading the way. Amazon was super strong. It's having a little pullback now. Nvidia through highs. Woo! Nice pop in Nvidia. Just that little pullback in Nvidia or AMD. Let's see, AVGO, did it pop again? Oh, yeah, AVGO as well. MU was weak. Now it's back in the green. Wow. Intel was red. Or excuse me, MU was red. Now it's back in the green. Intel was red. It's back in the green. SMCI. Meanwhile, S&P's going through lows. S&P and NASDAQ going opposite directions. Russell coming back down as well. This is quite a little tug of war here between the bulls and bears. Got chips going up. Got banks coming down. Semiconductors up. Financials down. And in financials, banks, and cryptos. Tesla still bouncing. Amazon still pulling back. Meta still acting weak. Microsoft still acting weak. Netflix just went red again. Apple's red. So not a lot of strength out of big tech except for the chips. PLTR new lows. Russell's just chopping around unchanged. Q's keeps rejecting around that CPI high. Tesla rejecting.
Order partially filled.
NASDAQ giving it up.
Order filled. Order cancelled.
Chips still holding strong.
Order partially filled.
SMH still holding up. Yeah, chip's still strong, man. Chippy chip still strong. Tesla dipped into the red, trying to bounce back. Tesla flushed to the downside, flushed to the upside, then flushed to the upside again, now flushed to the downside. Google is holding previous day high. All right, seeing some bouncing coming back in here. Meta trying to bounce back. Microsoft trying to bounce back. Did anybody catch a chip move? NASDAQ popping back up. I mean, that's just kind of whippy action in NASDAQ. General Zod, you caught a little AMD, nice. Medfly, MU, and Amazon, nice. Meta staying a little weaker. Amazon trying to pop back up. Nvidia extending through highs. Tesla doesn't know where it wants to go. Crypto's little flush, getting bought up a little bit. Bitcoin back in the green. Banks are still coming down. All three big banks started around unchanged. Now they're all down about 1%. Meta new lows. Meta had that big rejection at previous day high, and then it's just been pretty much all downhill. Apple trying to go green. S&DK popped back up. NASDAQ is just, I mean, still within its first 5-minute candle. It kind of dipped below it a little bit, but Tezzy trying to bounce again. I was considering it, trying to get long Tesla if it tried to reclaim pre-market high, but it's just too whippy and choppy. Bitcoin firing up. Big banks getting a bounce. Crypto's getting a bounce. Yeah, banks catching a bid now. You see the Russell popping up as well. We just had the consumer sentiment. Consumer sentiment and inflation expectations just came out. S&P through lows. NASDAQ through lows. Bitcoin staying stronger. S&P's dip getting bought up after it flushed lows. Tesla trying to get back above that pre-market high level, but nothing I'm interested in entering yet, my friends. Nothing yet. I mean, obviously, I wish I would have caught a chip move or one of those big moves, but I didn't. I just didn't really have a good entry. Nvidia's now pulling back. AMD a little pullback. AVGO decent pullback. SMH big pullback. Bitcoin up to pre-market highs with big volume. S&P trying to bounce back up. Just waiting to see if we get any kind of momentum out of this range in the indices. Bitcoin's acting strong. I'm gonna load up some MSTR 0 DTE calls. It would be the 130s. If MSTR starts to break out above pre-market high, I would consider that. Not showing relative strength versus. Oops, that's not Bitcoin. Not showing relative strength versus Bitcoin, but
Order filled.
tried to go red
Order
4 different
cancelled.
times and held.
Order filled.
Coin is staying weak. Meta through lows. Amazon's dip getting bought up a little bit. Could also look at this as a little trend line break in Amazon. I would trade the 3 DTE options in Amazon. Do the 240s. PLTR just bleeding down 5.5%. Tesla back in the red. IWM through lows. Tesla down towards lows. See what Amazon does here. I'm going to take Amazon here. Filled at $1.69. That's the 240 calls. 3 DTE. Apple's bouncing. Netflix bouncing. Amazon's had relative strength all day. If we can get a little bounce out of the indices to help, that'd be nice. Tesla dipped into the red again, bouncing back in the green. Getting some bouncing coming in. S&P, nice bounce. NASDAQ, nice bounce. Meta bouncing. Microsoft back in the green. Apple kind of pushing. Chip stocks bouncing a little bit. SMH a little bounce. AVGO. Nvidia starting to come back up. I put my first profit target at $1.90 in Amazon. Need to push through highs of day. See if S&P can reclaim previous day high here. It got rejected after CPI, and then it rejected again at the open. Let's try it again. There's a push. I did the 6-7 at the open, Watson. Not sure if you saw that. It's down a little bit right now. Amazon getting close to highs of day. Need a little pop. There's a new high in Amazon. Let's see if we can extend a little bit. Options up to $1.84. I'm at $1.90 is my profit target. Should be hitting. There we go. Filled to $1.90. Bitcoin extending, but yeah, MSTR is not. Coinbase is near lows. Hood near lows. So none of the crypto stocks are following its mama today. I'll try to take some more off at 210 in Amazon. Be back in 1 minute. Love coming back with a fresh cup of coffee and a profit target hit. So that 210 hit. Anybody in Amazon with me? General? It's always just me and you, General. What's up with everybody else? Anybody? Anybody? Elliot's in, okay. Elliot trading from Florida today. How do you like these U.S. market hours, Elliot? You like your time better or you like it here? Tesla making another attempt at getting above pre-market highs. Yeah, I don't know if I'd like trading in the evening.
Order partially filled.
It'd definitely be a completely different
Order
kind of
cancelled.
state of mind, right? Whereas for me, it's, first thing in the morning. If I got to drop my kids off at school, I feel like I'm kind of rushing. In the evening, that'd be interesting. I've never really done it much. Yeah, I used to think I wanted to move to the West Coast because I used to get up super early all the time, and so I kind of thought whenever my kids graduated, maybe I'd get a place on the West Coast. But I kind of the last couple of years, I kind of like sleeping in a little more. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know what it is, but I think now I'm leaning more towards the East Coast, so I get an extra hour. Not to sleep, but so I can get up and work out and not feel rushed. S&P reclaimed previous day high so far. Another beautiful relative strength play in Amazon today. Focus on winning strategies is more important. Did you take Amazon, Dark Avenger? Because last time I checked, it's a winning strategy. Or were you out there looking at your cypress trees? My dad lives in the Philippines, and so he usually has like a glass of wine while he's trading. I think he's 13 hours ahead, depending on the 12 or 13. Tesla rejected again. Just sloppy chop and Tezzy. Bitcoin extending. MSTR making another attempt at pre-market high. They're just too weak though. I'm not gonna play that. I talked about a potential long in MSTR if it reclaimed, but those stocks are just acting too weak compared to Bitcoin. I think if Bitcoin's little push runs out of steam, those crypto stocks could go lower. Amazon's still holding pretty high. I've got 6 left. I will put in another 3-lot exit at 230. Meta big bounce after being weak all morning. Goog trying to get back above previous day high, which is also right at pre-market high. Actually not. Actually, that looks like it was a pre-market candle. So previous day high. Q's showing the most strength of the indices. Trump just posted world's most powerful reset in all caps and 4 exclamation points. Not sure what that means. But let's see, what time was that? Oh, that was right after the bell. I think that is what it is. Yeah, he did the old unplug and plug back in. All right, now these crypto stocks are starting to pop. Circle, big bounce. That 6-7 that I put on is a little wider than I would have. My bot did a 40 delta call, 35 delta put. If I would have manually put it on, I probably would have went tighter than that. It's got a pretty decent little sag in the middle, which is not what I really want for double calendar if I'm trying to transform it. It's pretty much at break even, down, maybe down a little bit. Definitely not getting the Friday 6-7 treatment that they get sometimes. Actually saw a video, Dark Avenger. He has at least in this video, is a female, and he would basically say exactly what he wanted the post to be, and then she typed it up on the phone, or it was on a phone, the one I saw. So he speaks it, somebody else types it, I think. Yeah. He loves the all caps. All right, Amazon still kind of pausing, didn't extend. Russell's just kind of chopping around unchanged still. Netflix trying to go green. SNDK is dropping back in the red. MU still red. AVGO almost back up to highs. I don't really want Amazon to go much lower here. If it breaks down below its previous high of day, I'll start to consider cutting my remaining lots. But let's see if it can bounce here. S&P still acting strong. NVIDIA just cracked a new high. Amazon's still holding.
Order filled.
S&P just ticked a new high of day. So did the NASDAQ. Oh, PLTR poppy pop. Amazon just kind of pulling back right to my line in the sand. Google couldn't hold, still coming down. Tesla back up to pre-market highs. S&P, NASDAQ all rejecting at previous high of day. Looks like my 6-7 just went green, which I've talked about this quite a bit, but a lot of times on these 6-7 Friday entries, they actually like a little up move. They like vol contraction and moves higher, which we're seeing. It was in the red when we were kind of dipping, and now that we've pushed up, it's turned green. Let's see flux. Yeah, see flux is showing we've had a continual decline in the ratio since the open. Come on, Amazon. One more pop. Give us one more little pop. One more little poppy pop. All right, I'm cutting. Decent trade. You did your job. You did your job, Amazon. I appreciate that about you. But I'm done with you for now. Wrap the stream here. If I see anything in the near term, I will post in the trade channel. Otherwise, maybe one and done. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see everyone in Power Hour. The other DC time machine that I'm kind of modeling right now is a 1314 DTE. Kind of watching that. Also, new release on Flux. I'm going to record a little video on that, and I'll put that out right now. All right, I'll see everybody in Power Hour. Take care.